Hi, I'm Rich Tejada from Keys to Fitness. I shot a video about a year ago regarding seniors using TRX equipment, and I had about 5,000 hits on it, so I thought maybe it would be a good idea to do a second video to update you on a few concerns that I have after watching a lot of TRX videos on YouTube. One of the things that's not mentioned is the danger of using the equipment if you have shoulder injuries in particular and spinal problems. So I work in Mexico here with the local population. The average age of my clients is probably, I would say, 70s. I'm in my mid-70s also. So I bought this equipment quite a few years ago because I wanted to advance my knowledge of different modalities. I enjoy it, but I also know it's very dangerous for me because I have shoulder problems. I have bursitis. I have a tear in my rotator cuff on my right shoulder. My left shoulder, I may have one there also, but I haven't gone and got it checked out. So if you're considering buying TRX, they're reasonably expensive. I mean, they're about $100 to $200 depending upon which one you get. So it's quite an investment, and I would recommend that if you're going to buy it, try one out in a gym. Have somebody instruct you. Just don't go and start using it without instruction because, like I say, there is some danger involved if you have injuries. The thing that I find most concerning is when watching videos, people aren't talking about, do you have a problem with your shoulders? Because when you're using this equipment, your shoulder's involved in so much of the exercise, if not almost everything. I have to be really careful for myself doing the push-up version, which they call a chest press. Also doing a plank with my hands firmly on the ground. That puts a lot of pressure on my shoulders. So there are things that you really have to try out first in a gym with a possible trainer or somebody that works in the gym to show you how to do it. But to give you an idea, I'll show you a few things that are of concern to me. I'm going to run through a whole series of exercises very quickly which show how much the shoulders are involved in all of these exercises, plus the low back, which can be problematic if you don't keep your core tight. So I'm going to show you a couple of things, and I'll be talking while I'm doing it, so to give you some ideas to the safety that you have to keep in mind. So for a row, obviously your shoulders are involved. Squat, you've still got a lot of pressure on your shoulders and on your knees, but there's a lot of weight off of the knees because your arms are taking the weight off of the legs. Now, one that's very hard, it can be dangerous if you're not careful, is the Y fly they teach, if you'll see this in videos. Or you can do it in a T fashion, and if you have a lot of angle and you're pulling up a lot of your weight, a lot of stress on the shoulders. Okay, so these are the things that I'm concerned about, and I don't have too many of my clients doing that particular one. The chest press is easier if you don't have too much angle on your body. The more angle, or the longer the straps, the harder it is, and the more pressure on your shoulders. Another one that's quite advanced is the fly, and this I don't teach a lot of people because if they land up going out too far or they've lost control, you can rip the rotator cuffs, the joint in your shoulders, and you're going to have problems for a long time after that. The other one that they teach is the rollout, and that again, you can see how the shoulders are involved, but also if you don't keep your core tight, you could hurt your low back. So you have to have the core tight when you're doing this. And so the less angle, the easier it is. So I teach people when they're starting to not have too much angle and to just go out to where they feel comfortable. But you have to be coached on this kind of stuff, okay? The other thing that hurts me a lot, I can do push-ups off the ground, but because I have rotator cuff issues, if I do more than 20 push-ups off the ground, I can't sleep at night for 3 nights because there's so much pain involved. So I'll just show you when I'm doing a plank off the TRX, my shoulders hurt a lot. So if I stay in this position, that really hurts my shoulders. If I go like this, it's not as bad, but still hurts me. So just to give you an idea what shoulder issues are involved in using TRX. Hope you find that helpful. So these are the issues that I find when I'm working with seniors with this piece of equipment. So I only do a few exercises that I feel are safe. I'm spotting them, I'm watching them all the time. So if you get into a gym and somebody doesn't ask you questions about whether you have issues with your shoulders, with your knees, with your spine, because if you have spinal issues, disc problems, cracked vertebrae, you don't want to be doing twisting, a lot of twisting exercises. You'd want to get advice from a physiotherapist or from a doctor who has some knowledge of exercise, which unfortunately most GPs don't, like my doctor back in Toronto, not really much of an athlete. So he's not going to be able to give me good advice on what exercises would be safe. But if you've had spinal surgery, like a lot of my clients, I'm not going to be having them doing a lot of twisting unless their physiotherapist or their specialist said it was okay to do some twisting. So these are things that you have to be really concerned about. So if you work with a trainer, make sure they're asking you questions about what's wrong with your body, because most seniors have some kind of injury. I have tons. I was a marathon runner, issues with my knees. My shoulders in particular are the worst thing. Spine, no problems. So have somebody that's knowledgeable working with seniors. And when you're watching the videos, unfortunately, most of the people that are doing the videos are very young. So they're not necessarily used to working with seniors. So I want to give a shout out to a couple of people that I found on the internet that I think are excellent. And I've got their names written down, and if you want to make note of it, there's one gal called Marsha, and her YouTube videos are called Short Circuits, and she does a marvelous job with TRX. It's not necessarily for seniors, but I like what she does. I think she's very careful. Another gal that I just came across, I've only seen one of her videos, it's Carrie, K-A-R-I, Woodall, and it's called Smolder. And she has a great video, and she said she designed this program for her parents, her senior parents. And I thought that was very, very fascinating, and it's definitely worth a watch. If I can put a link after I put this on YouTube, I will. Two other people that I really, really enjoy for band training, in particular, James Grange. He has a website, G-R-A-N-G-E, and he sells his bands, so that's what he's in the business for. So obviously he went from doing bodybuilding with weights and machines to strictly doing bands. So there's a point where, he's wanting to sell his equipment, but he has wonderful, wonderful videos on band training, which is what I use here more so than the TRX. The other person that's my favorite is Jeff Cavalier of Athlean X. Now he does some band training, but basically he's a physiotherapist and a personal trainer. So he's trained athletes and all different kinds of professional people, and I find him probably the best guy I've seen on the internet if you want to find things about strength training and also about rehabbing injuries that you might have. I've watched everything for low back pain, shoulders, all different kinds of things. So Jeff Cavalier, I've got to give him a great shout out. So these are just some of the things that I come across with my work with seniors in Mexico here, and I thought it would be worthwhile to shoot this video to give you some ideas about safety and whether it's worthwhile for you to buy something like TRX. I love it, but I'm also very, very careful because I could hurt myself also. Okay? So just thought I'd throw that out at you, and I hope you find it helpful. Take care and have a wonderful day.